Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Emma Chasen, and today I am answering your question of what do you think about a cannabis chemovar classification system? I think that a cannabis chemovar classification system is necessary. And to define what that means, it means classifying cannabis based on the chemical compounds inside of cannabis's matrix. It would replace the antiquated indica sativa classification, where we are classifying effects based on the species morphology, meaning that we are looking to a classification of indica to mean relaxing and a classification of sativa to mean energizing. That is nonsensical and antiquated. Instead, we must look to the actual chemical compounds found in the matrix of the various cannabis varieties to begin to start classifying in such a way that is more experience-based. So, for example, let's say a chemovar that has THC with a terpene called pinene. That may be a little bit more focusing and alert and creative than something that has a mixed ratio of CBD and THC with myrcene, a terpene responsible for a more sedative effect, for example. There is already a proposed classification system that looks to the actual chemical compounds, and this refers to the type 1, type 2, type 3 classification system. Type 1 cannabis varieties are classified by a THC dominance, meaning a genetic predisposition to always produce THC as the dominant cannabinoid. Type 2 is classified by a mixed ratio of THC and CBD, so a genetic predisposition to always produce a mixed ratio of THC to CBD, a close to 1-to-1 ratio or even a 2-to-1 ratio at times. Type 3 is cannabis that has a CBD dominance, so a genetic predisposition to always produce CBD in dominant concentrations. The reason why scientists went with this chemovar classification system is because you don't have much variability in the dominance of cannabinoids that you produce. Meaning, if you have a Blue Dream variety grown by a grower that grows indoor, and if you have a Blue Dream variety grown by somebody who grows outdoor, you may get very different terpenes on your Blue Dream analysis. You may even get different concentrations of THC, but you will see a consistent dominance of THC. It will never be the case where a Blue Dream that's grown outdoor will all of a sudden produce a CBD dominance, and a Blue Dream grown indoor produces a THC dominance. And so because of that consistency that we see in THC dominance, mixed ratio of THC and CBD dominance, it's a good place to start for a chemovar classification system. Of course, we need to do more work to begin to tie in terpenes and actually experience-based effects based on the actual chemical compounds and their ratios. But it's a hard feat. We need more research to further elucidate the various synergisms at play between cannabinoids and terpenes. And also, we need to remember that cannabis is personalized medicine. Everybody's endocannabinoid receptor system is unique and specific to them, and it fluctuates on a daily basis. Therefore, something that works for you one day may not produce the same response the next day, depending on where you're at with your mental, physical, emotional health. Therefore, keep a strain journal for yourself. Keep a consumption journal. Write down all of the things that you've tried. Write down the different ratios of cannabinoids and terpenes in the flower that you're smoking, and begin to find patterns for yourself. Begin to find what truly works for you and what doesn't. And notice if there are certain fluctuations dependent on what happens during your day or how much food you eat, etc. That is the way that you are going to begin to really figure out what works best for you. And that is it for this segment of Ask Emma. Thanks so much for joining me. If you have a cannabis question that you would like me to answer on air, hit me up. Find me on Instagram at @echasen, send me a message, and the next time, the cannabis question that I answer could be yours.